Oxygen levels.
Oxygen levels are at maximum.
Set a course to Dark Waters 9. Alright, looks like we have close-up Russian footage of possibly Three-Eye Atlas. Looks like it has some type of bioluminescence technology running through it. Or this could be some type of amoeba deep underwater is the first thing that's coming to mind. A terrifying sight to see. Spotted a creature sitting outside seaside out of water on a beach in Florida.
The video that went viral of a guy who was at a beach late at night and he said he saw something. Everyone in the comments were saying that it was a siren. But yeah, look at this. Look at that right there. What is that? It looks like it's kind of sitting there. And I went ahead and freeze framed it and blew it up. And as you can see, it does look like something's sitting right there. But what is that? Now, I don't know what that truly was, but as you can see, it does look like a figure that was sitting right there. But I want to know, what do you guys think that was?
It does look like some type of merman or a mermaid. Oh, wow, you can see the fin. I was looking at him waiting for him to quick turn and give us the look. That would have been scary. She found this lurking inside this cave.
Yeah, what are you?
I am really disappointed that we didn't get any close-up shots of this, but to be fair, I can understand why this person was afraid. This looks pretty creepy. This TikTok video that I got tagged in shows a person walking on a beach in New Zealand. They're going past this cave. They then look inside of the cave and we see this really weird object that kind of resembles a spider, and they're wondering what it is. The first thing that people thought this was an aloe ferox plant that had died and washed up on the beach. And while this does look quite similar, because this video was recorded in New Zealand, it is highly unlikely because aloe ferox does not natively grow there. A lot of people also thought that it was an animal of some kind, but again, that's really not realistic. Instead, I think it's more than likely some type of seaweed. And if I had to venture a guess for a specific type of seaweed, I would guess a bull kelp because they're large, they have very thick tentacle-like structures, and it would make sense for it to wash up on the beach. That being said, that's just my guess, so let me know what you guys think in the comment section below.
I don't know, that's a crazy amount of thick seaweed. I do wish she would have got up closer and we could have seen something better of it because it looks like alien by species. It looks like some type of straight out of a sci-fi movie. It's the first glance I see looking at it. And these things, I had no idea I don't know if this is a starfish or what that gets up walking the water. That's absolutely crazy. It says the objects are actually dead aloe plants that have washed on shore, not sea creatures or aliens. A South African farmer took the photos to raise environmental awareness of these images and mistook these plants for something else. At first glance, I'm thinking starfish.
So Internet of Bio-nano things, chips in people. Yeah, we already have the medical body area network. And the Internet of Bio-nano things brings now connectivity at the molecular, at the cellular level. That is their vision. Yeah, the telecommunication industry has already deployed this system, Internet of Bio-nano things in humans. Please take a look at the PDF that Ayush Bhatnagar shared on LinkedIn. Yeah? Let me just briefly go over it again. I'm going to clip this particular video later on so you can listen to it again. So here is the PDF. Invisible intelligence already deployed in the population worldwide. Connect the unseen, molecule cells and smart matter.
What if they announced this and they'd be like, hey, it's not a big deal. We released these nanoparticles in preparation for 6G, so it enhanced the experience. Don't worry, it's going to be nice. What if they really did come out and say that, though?
In this box it says nano machine, nano router, nano cluster head. Ubiquitous connectivity, including the inside of the human body. And then later on it goes into the healthcare side of things, enabling networks inside the body. BioBNT connects nanoscale devices directly with biological systems. These nanobiosensors and actuators can monitor, diagnose, and even treat conditions from inside the body in real time. By integrating biological data with AI-powered networks, IOBNT
That is crazy. It reminds me of those smart beds.
enables personalized, responsive healthcare at an unprecedented scale. 6G will power in-body networks that monitor health and deliver treatments connecting humans at the molecular scale. Yeah, and this is what it looks like. And the doctors have a really difficult time to, be honest about the system that has already been deployed, including the bio-cyber interfaces.
Bio-cyber interfaces. Is that how these ads that be popping up, that how they read my mind and I'll see the ads pop up that I haven't even mentioned? I could just be thinking of something and next thing you know, an ad's gonna pop up. You know, it's like, man, how did they know? They might have the bio-cyber interface going on. The bio-cyber interface is already in the prelude stages.
This is our current medical body area network system, telemetry, wireless telemetry system. Cloud-linked medical access, real-time data sharing with healthcare professionals via secure bio-cyber interfaces. So I would like to hear Brandy Smith cover the topic because she posted a publication about the Internet of Bio-nano things and the medical bio-cyber interface, the Internet within, already deployed.
Drop your thoughts in the comments below. They gonna connect this to digital IDs and man, this is gonna be crazy.
Look at this. This, if you can see it, these are Dollar General sidewalk solar lamps. I modified them and turned them into a solar panel. And now I have, you can see it. I don't know if you can see it in this light, but anyway, there's about 46 volts there. And you're thinking, okay, what's the big deal? The big deal is this is a non-hydrocarbon based source, which means it's electromagnetic from our sun, photonic. So it's an electromagnetic source of energy. Why is that so big? Because it's the same source of energy that is around our planet in our electromagnetosphere. So it's like and similar to the source of true energy, which is the sun. So now you have 46 volts here, but can you think of what makes your lightning in the planet and the huge electromagnetic energy source that the planet generates? Now you have a voltage differential. You have 1,000,000 trillion volts up in the atmosphere, and you've got 50 volts down here. That's a huge differential. And when you learn how to leverage it and focus that electromagnetic energy of the planet, you better get out of the way, because I can focus it and put it right through your chest. And they don't allow me to have a lathe, so I had to have my former brother-in-law made me a very nice wheel at one time, because they don't allow me to have lathes, because it's part of my non-disclosure agreements. with the United States Navy. So it's difficult for me to make these machines when they won't allow me the tools to do it with, because they know what I can do with it, and they've kept me suppressed. So it's taken me a little longer to do this stuff because I have to figure out a way to find the precision and the ability to hold things and machine things without the tools that everybody else has in their access. So I've been under a squash for a long time, but now it's coming out, and I'm going to put it together, and I'm going to change your world. It's up to you to listen or you don't. But these are Dollar General $1.50 solar panel sidewalk lamps, and I'm generating almost 50 volts. Sometimes I can get about 50 volts out of that. Now there's no amperage, it's milliamps, yeah, but it's not about the amperage, it's about the leverage of the planet's energy. The actual electromagnetic field of the planet is full of positrons, it's full of oppositely rotating electrons. But you can't figure it out when you use oil-based energies because they're too dissimilar. They're not of the same form. So now I have like and similar source energy, which is electromagnetic, and it's compatible with the electromagnetic signature of the planet. Now I have that leverage ability. Now get the out of my way, because I'm not around. Show you this.
I bet you didn't think you were going to see dollar store solar panels today. Me either. Please don't attempt or reenact anything you hear or see on this video. It is strictly for entertainment purposes only. Speculation purposes only. But you gotta admit, when the zombie apocalypse gets here and we're all... But you gotta admit, the survival skills are definitely there. I want to see it power something, like power a Game Boy or a phone charger or something.
Seen these? These are star holes from Poland. Why are they weird? Because they twist on the way in. This would be hard in wood, but these are in granite. And they're ancient. Now try searching this. Google's AI will beat you to the punch and say this is not evidence for advanced technology. That is dumb. Star holes are older than the Egyptians. The Egyptians used a blade that thick to cut granite. The mainstream explanation that nobody believes anymore is copper tubes and sand. As an engineer, that's a shit idea. But we have this guy now. This is an ancient core of a tube drill. A drill leaves a spiral mark as it drills into the rock. That took 4 days, by the way. That method does not. The speed at which the ancient Egyptian drill went into the rock was faster than this drill right here. Just sit with that one for a second. Then some Russian dudes tried to prove that you could make hieroglyphs with flint and a hammer. Did a pretty good job. That took them 4 hours. Here's something to consider. This obelisk sits outside of Luxor Temple. It sits on top of a red quartzite base. See how deep those are? Red quartzite is harder than granite. They carved both those with a rock. I'm not kidding, that's the story. Back to Poland. The reason why I brought Egypt up is because in World War II, they discovered these passage mounds in Poland. After excavating them, they discovered that they have megalithic foundations. I have some theories on this. Most of them include using vibration, which is carved all over Egypt. I cover all this in excruciating detail in Unfiltered Egypt. I do not post those here due to the platform's limitations. To me, these are in the same category as the paper-thin vases that are extremely precise from Egypt as well.
Man, vibration? That's a great idea. Because it would get it looking like that. I was thinking heat, like some type of solar ancient technology they harvest where it could, but you don't see any burn marks. So, man. And it's almost like they were testing it out, making sure they had the right bit on this one. That is crazy.
Before the Great Flood, before the cutting of the massive ancient trees, everything was much larger than. Before the Great Flood,
Scorpion is wild. Giant cobra is insane.
These are the footprints that were left behind after the Red Sea crossing. What's so interesting about this discovery is that the footprints appear to be solidified in the seabed, along with rock-hard sand that has actually melted and fused together, with some archaeologists even comparing it to glass as it's become so brittle. This aligns with the biblical narrative in Exodus 14, where it describes God as a pillar of fire. The intense heat from the fire could potentially explain how the footprints became fossilized, preserving this moment in history as evidence of the miraculous crossing. Some researchers also point to the fact that this area, Nuweiba Beach, has long been identified as the crossing site, due to the discovery of an underwater land bridge beneath the Red Sea, suggesting a possible route for a mass crossing. Not only that, there are claims of chariot wheels and human remains found on the seafloor, adding to the supporting evidence. With all these discoveries, as well as the solidified footprints in the area, has led many to believe this is where the Red Sea crossing actually took place. These are the footprints.
And this one was outside Saudi Arabia. And I know a lot of people say that there's actually a Red Sea right outside California. So that makes you think, which one was it? Did they find footprints and chariot wheels over there outside Cali or what?
Okay, this can't be real. How was this not worldwide breaking news when it came out? A galactic... Okay, this can't be real. How was this not worldwide breaking news when it came out? A galactic federation of aliens exists. President Trump and the Israeli government know about it, and we're working with them on Mars. This was an official news release back in 2020, revealed in an interview by a former Israeli space security chief, where he admitted that our governments are in contact with extraterrestrials from a, quote, galactic federation, and that they've specifically asked their points of human contact to not reveal that they're here, that...
Hold on. You guys see the Antarctic Treaty in the back. For speculation purposes only, what if it's not all the way in outer space, but this was actually beyond the wall and this was true? That would be crazy.
Humanity is not yet ready for full-on public disclosure. According to him, they have been waiting until today for humanity to develop and reach a stage where we will understand, in general, what space and spaceships are. So it seems like they're waiting for our space exploration technology to get better, at which point they'll welcome us into their galactic federation. The supposed whistleblower's name is Haim Ashed, who spent 30 years as head of Israel's Defense Ministry's space security program. A highly respected professor and well-decorated retired general. This guy ain't no kook. He also said there is an agreement between the US government and the aliens. They, the aliens, signed a contract with us to do experiments here on Earth. So they're using our planet as a petri dish for what I assume is biological experimentation on us. They even have a few other cooperation agreements signed between our species, including an underground base in the depths of Mars, where there are American astronauts and alien representatives working together. All according to this guy, take it up with him. Apparently, Trump is well aware of this Galactic Federation and was on the verge of revealing it to the public just a few years ago, but was specifically asked not to in order to prevent mass hysteria, which I think we can all agree would happen if news like this came out. White House and Pentagon officials declined to comment on this. Kinda sketch.
It would. Just imagine if like a lot of these conspiracies came true. That would definitely be a disruption. People wouldn't know what to do.
Decided to speak out about this in 2020 as he claimed people became more receptive of extraterrestrials and UFOs by then. Which, yeah, 2020 was the year the Pentagon released their confirmed UFO videos for the first time in history, letting us know they have no idea what the they're dealing with, which was also just 1 year after Trump officially established the United States Space Force in 2019. Maybe that was his way of hinting at something he couldn't talk about. But of course, the mainstream consensus around this guy is that he's just old and senile with nothing to lose, around 88 years old at the time his claims were made, and that he was just promoting his book, The Universe Beyond the Horizon, where he makes claims that include stories of how aliens prevented nuclear disasters. But this man isn't your typical conspiracy whack job like me. He is a high-ranking and well-decorated military space intelligence official with master's and doctorate degrees in aeronautical engineering. Did he just decide to tarnish his lifelong reputation by making up something like this to sell a book, or are we about to join a real-life galactic federation? Okay.
You got the Palladians, you got the Garthians, you got the people in the Ancestral Republic. You know, it's so many of them. The Anunnaki, you know, is which classification is each one of them classified under the Galactic Federation? Scientists have discovered what might be the largest spider web in the world, found in a cave straddling the border of Greece and Albania.
A massive spider web was discovered in an underwater cave on the border of Greece and Albania. According to a study published in the journal Subterranean Biology, the web stretches more than 100 square meters along the wall of the cave and is likely the largest in the world. Scientists estimate that more than 110,000 spiders from 2 different species are living in the caves. This is the first time those 2 species were found to have cooperated with one another. A massive spider web.
Are you kidding me? And she's just poking it like this is no big deal. Check this out. Don't you know there's a giant Aragon back there from Harry Potter about to crawl down? Those things just dangling down. Oh, no. I want nothing to do with this cave. That's the Lord of the Rings cave that you need to pass through to go to Mordor. We know all about that. All right, y'all. We got good footage of a moose and a Sasquatch going at it.
Giant Colorado Sasquatch caught between a hunter and 2 battling bull moose. This footage was captured north of Steamboat Springs, Colorado, in the middle of nowhere. I have enlarged the cell phone video by 175%. I'll show the 14 seconds and over 300 frame section of the footage with the subject of interest and enhance the lighting so that we can see the details of the subject hiding in the shadows of cover. This thing appears to shift slowly and nervously as it stares at the hunter filming it, with 2 bull moose that walk past and behind it, then start to fight.
Look how giant this Bigfoot is compared, because moose are already huge. Moose are like a tank, but this is like 3 tanks stacked on top of each other. This is massive. This is probably the largest Bigfoot footage I've ever seen.
I'll then show the entire video with the lighting enhanced, followed by the original footage. Maybe you can see something else in this amazing video, something that I may have missed. John writes RMSO. I believe my buddy captured a Sasquatch, watching him during a hunting trip in Colorado. I would very much like your opinion. RMSO responds, Hi Tracy, we can enhance, enlarge, or stabilize the video if needed to get a better look and let our viewers decide for themselves. John continues, A buddy of mine sent me this video of some moose fighting while on a hunting trip in Colorado. He had no idea. I spotted the Bigfoot watching him in the video. Our giant Colorado Sasquatch.
Hey, the sheer size of it was giving me Sully from Monsters Inc. vibes. All right, look at this. It almost looks like it has some black at the middle. Octahedrals all the way around. Giving off like a, not really, a little bit darker than lavender this time. Yeah, this is a unique one. What would you name this one? If I had to name this one, I would call it Lavender Night Vision Goggles. But no, it's like these 2 things poking at you are kind of like the eyes. Then you got your infrared camera on the front. I don't know. What would you guys name this? That's all we have for today's video. The code word for today is...
The video on the Bird app, and what it's showing is a giant wall of ice under Antarctica. And this wall of ice seems to be going to the very bottom of the ocean, but also running underneath the sand. I do wonder why this video is not more public than it should be. You know, you figure they find these giant walls that all of science would know. And by the way, look at the color of this so-called wall of ice. It looks very similar to something that's above our head. And then coming across that video reminded me a ton of Admiral Byrd's expedition to Antarctica and the footage we have of that, which most people aren't even aware of. The only way you even come across is if you look really heavily into it. But there was like crazy tall ice that they had to literally do a high jump to get onto. I'm gonna fast forward right now because they literally had hundreds of miles of just a giant wall of ice.
Operation High Jump is another dive.
I wonder why we're not talking about this crazy video on the...
I guess Operation High Jump was the supposed way of how they got on top of the ice wall. If you thought I wasn't going to have another excellent specimen of the day for you, think again. Deep Thursday. Go ahead and drop Deep Thursday in the comments below. When you do that, that lets me know you're a real one. You made it all the way through the video and you really rock with your boy. I just want to say thank you for your support. This was the most mysterious TikToks on the internet today. See you later.